I'm Francis Rossi of Subtitulado. This is a Fender Telecaster that I acquired sometimes in the late 60s, and I'd like to say that it was such a wonderful instrument that I wanted to keep it, but I said to the person we had at the time, person Modi, which one should I keep? There was a blonde one and this was a sunburst, so I kept this one. And a couple of years later I wanted to sand it down because I fancied it being plain wood. You can see where discs have hit it, and I didn't finish it off. Then I painted it black, took it to a gig. When you're young, you like the idea of a black guitar. I just turned that off. I was tuning the key thing, and I didn't like that. And I was painting some furniture at home. So on this paint had just come out. There was red, blue, and this green. And so I painted that, and it was on the table in the kitchen. I was late for a gig, so I put it back together again. Went to the gig, and I've got to finish it yet. I did think at one point, a hole in there, people think it's with a knob, or these things used to fly out, and because they weren't very well secured, so I tried putting it through there, think that would stop it, but it didn't. And you can see where I'm in, up there, so I must have had a joint or something. And everyone seems to think this is a wonderful guitar. I've got a love-hate relationship with the thing. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. It's a guitar, and if people think they're going to get a serious guitar and then say it's Eric or whoever it can sound like Eric, inevitably each one of us sounds like who we are, whatever rig, whatever guitar we play.
Hello, I'm Rick Parfitt from Status Quo, and this is my telly, my stage telly, which I've had for most of my life. Irreplaceable. If I lost this or anything happened to it, I mean obviously it's looked after with kid gloves by my guitar tech, and it's just the most wonderful guitar. I string it very heavily, got a 56 bottom E on it, because my main role in the band is to keep the engine room rocking, so the bottom strings are really thick, and it's quite a brute to play. But I had all the bridge modified here, took all the springs and everything off, so nothing moves. Strings come straight down, straight through the body and into there. And you can drop it, you can do what you want with it, and it never budges, it never goes out of tune. And I whacked fuck out of it. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I whacked fuck out of it, and it's just the most wonderful guitar. And I think it's about 1959, 1960, and I bought it in Glasgow, I think it was, for 80 quid, which was a lot of money back then. But it's just a lovely guitar, you know, and I mean over the years obviously I've aged this with my arm. That wasn't age, and I've done that. Because when you start off, if it's too sharp round here, it sounds very Spinal Tap, doesn't it? But if it's too sharp on the edge there, it takes chunks out of your arm, swells up here when you hit it as hard as I do. And so that now is very, very comfortable. And it's just the most wonderful guitar. And I got that off a Meccano set, I think. Is it a Meccano set or a Lego set? For this little wheel here, because it makes it easier. I feel really Spinal Tapsy. It makes it easier to turn up and down, you know. But there again, with what we do, particularly with what I do, I don't very often turn it down. I turn it up and I leave it turned up, and that's where it stays.